Well, good morning, everybody. Whether you're on the West Coast, the Mountain Time, Central Time, we got people coming in today from Britain, Australia, because one thing to mention here is, Happy Travel is open in 19 different countries. And so that's exciting. We got people all over the world, and with Rocket Gig, we're able to touch some people with the travel piece, with Rocket Gig and the travel piece, to be able to expand your reach, to expand your business. Obviously, not all the products are in those different 19 countries, but Happy Travel definitely is. But today we're going to dive deep into something that I'm excited about, and I'm going to be kind of quiet. I'm going to be taking notes, but Robert's going to be going through a number of different slides. Mike is going to be as well, piping in as we go through this. But we're excited about the future of Rocket Gig. We're excited that two companies are now one company. They're coming in. Rocket Gig is Rocket Gig, right? Rocket Gig is not Travel Gig anymore. Rocket Gig is Rocket Gig. Nucleogenics and all the different products, etc. We are Rocket Gig together, and we're going to be encouraging. And I've heard nothing but absolutely amazing input from all the different new nucleogenics people that I'm getting to meet for the first time. Just incredible conversations. Obviously, a lot of new to you. And on the Happy Travel Gig side, lots of new to you. And so today, I just want to get out of the way and encourage you to open up your mind like a parachute. Open up your mind like a parachute. Open it up. If you keep your mind open, you're going to float and you're going to thrive, and you're going to do incredible things with what we are about to do here at Rocket Gig. So I'm excited. And also, I did want to mention one other thing. We are a loving, unbelievable culture and group, and we love to love up on each other. But I'm going to tell you, we're going to have a Q&A. We're going to have a Q&A at the end. If you go to a seminar, you go to an event, and there's a speaker up there, you don't see people asking questions in the middle of the speech, right? You don't see people asking a bunch of questions or people chatting during that time. So no disrespect to any, I'm a chatty guy too, but we're going to let Mike and Robert go through the entire presentation, take notes while you're going along the way there, and have your questions ready at the end. And we also are going to be having different groups tomorrow meeting with us and answering any more questions. But today is for you to be able to learn the rewards plan, and it's going to be awesome. So anyway, love you guys. Take it away, Mr. Robert Oblon.
All right, thanks for that, Cameron. As we have been doing all week, we are obviously in webinar mode so that we can record these presentations and another deep dive, right? And that's what today is all about, the Gigonomics Rewards Plan. Listen, Mike and Cameron and I were just talking about, typically this is like a one page, or if you've seen the document on the front of Rocket Gig, it's literally 3 pages, but the first page is a design page, right? It should take someone a couple minutes to explain the two pieces to our plan. But today, we're doing a deep dive so that we can explain in detail, because obviously there's a lot of questions. Everyone's brand new to this on both of the teams that have come together. Nucleogenics has actually still has on that side for that existing business, the kind of existing old plan. Travel giggers have graduated to what we're all about to show you together. But this is brand new for everybody. And this presentation is brand new. And again, it's intended to be sort of an explanatory deep dive, right? So I'm just going to dive into it. Sorry, it wasn't in total share mode. Okay, so Everybody sees my screen, right? Everybody sees the big gigonomics, rewards plan, community dividends. Just anybody say, give me a thumbs up. Make sure we're all on the same page here. And all right, thank you, Audrey. All right. So there's a couple things we just want to kind of point out in the very beginning, and that is the Rocket Gig Rewards plan is really focused on the affiliate-driven sales of products and services, right? I mean, that's the gist. We are a direct selling company, which simply means you are direct sellers selling the products and services. It's really simple. But that's our primary focus, right? And the primary focus around what we do is providing the tools and products and ability for you to earn commissions. Now, what's cool is we pay pretty significant commissions, but I want to point out something that's different than almost all the other, previous sort of MLM versions of compensation. Most comp plans out there, again, in that other genre of business, they have something called usually CV or BV, which is business volume typically. In other words, if a product sells for $100, they have a business volume, say, of 60 or 70%, usually somewhere around 70. So that means when they say they're paying out X commission, let's say they're saying 30 or 40% commission, they're calculating based on the BV, not on the price of the product. In other words, if it's 30% commission on 70% BV, that means you're earning 30% of $70, not $100. So I want to point that out because ours are a dollar to point ratio. If you sell Curbix at $179, you're earning 30% of $179. We'll talk more about that. So does that make sense? It's a dollar to point ratio. That's very unique from the standpoint of it's not very unique in affiliate marketing. That's very typical. In network marketing, it's not, right? So we're going to use some examples and visuals for you to really take note and study. And obviously this is being recorded. You can go back and watch this over and over so you can really just kind of understand, although it's very simple. You're going to go out and you're going to sell products to customers, and those customers include anyone you've personally enrolled as an affiliate. And I want to point out, every single person on this call right now listening to my voice and watching these slides already have a network of customers and affiliates. Almost all of you. I don't know, some of you have a lot of them. I think we'll dive into that a little bit. But what happens is you have customers and affiliates right now. And of course, you're going to go bring in new ones because you're going to sell our products to new people. What I want you to focus on is just the simplicity of this first component, which is you're earning direct commissions on all of your customers and affiliates. Pretty simply. And by the way, there's no limit to the number of affiliates and customers you can have. It's unlimited. And we pay weekly for the previous week's sales, right? So all the sales that come in, mostly, by the way, happen on subscription, right? Automatically, they're getting their product ordered and sent to them, commonly referred to as auto ship, right? And in this business model, you only need one affiliate per household, right? Okay, so I'm going to use some, again, these are just arbitrary sample numbers, right? Just for the sake of this deep dive, right? And then so this visual has 10 customers and 2 affiliates. And again, arbitrarily, who knows what they would actually, if you have 10 customers and 2 affiliates, what they're going to buy. We're just using some examples here so we can have some numbers to play with, okay? If you had this exact scenario, you'd be making $800 a month residual, assuming these customers and affiliate were on subscription. Okay, so again, this is for the sake of this demonstration. So we're going to take this and we'll kind of dive a little deeper into what it would look like if you had 10 or 12 people buying these products. That would be considered, all those sales to your personal customers is considered personal sales volume. Also known as PSV. And again, this is just the total of your personal orders, of the personal orders of your affiliates and customers. So we call that PSV. Okay, so then you notice here that we put a couple of affiliates into this equation. So you have 10 customers and 2 affiliates. Well, your affiliates are going to be duplicating what you're doing. In other words, they're going to have customers and other affiliates, right? They're going to have a PSV of their own. So that sales volume also gets tabulated, their PSV, right? So, but because they're your line of lineage, for using the, more the vernacular that we're used to, right? Every one of your affiliates becomes part of your lineage, or your team, right? So when we have those two things combined, right, we add your PSV with the personal orders of those affiliates that you might have, we call that your team sales volume, or TSV. So these two numbers are added together for what we calculate. Now, this is going to mean something in a few minutes, right? So I'm just, again, pointing out you have personal sales, and we start calculating the sales of your affiliates, your team, right? So dive in a little deeper here. So now there's another third aspect to this called the power line. And I'm going to just give you the high level, and then I'm going to ask Cameron to come in and really explain the power line a little bit more detail. But here's how it works. When you become, I'm going to have this conversation from the standpoint of a brand new person, right? All of you are not brand new. Even though this is brand new to you, you already are in a power line. You already have a network beneath you, right? But let's just talk about it from the standpoint of a brand new person. The way this works is when someone comes in for the first time, they join today as an affiliate, they have an opportunity to what we call launch their business, or say, launch their business by getting their first customer who buys a product from any one of our lanes. So the moment an affiliate has a first order from any customer or affiliate of theirs that they personally enrolled, that launches their business. Now, you can also save your seat immediately by paying a $10 fee that we charge as part of our business model. So you can save your seat for $10 immediately, or your first customer launches your business. Now, again, the vast majority of you already have launched your business, or have already saved your seat. It used to be referred locking your spot, right? You saved your seat. You already have launched your business, and you're in the power line. But again, from a brand new perspective, someone launches their business today because they joined today or they joined yesterday. Right now, what happens is that every new affiliate that comes into the business and does the exact same thing, launches their business, and then starts selling to their customers, creates what we call community sales volume. And that number is calculated. But this is what I want to point out, and then I'm going to turn it over to Cameron. What happens is this community volume is all of the affiliates and all of the sales, as all of those people launch their business and save their seats. All of that is tabulated into a number. But what's really cool about it is it's all of the sales of everyone that comes in after you, no matter who invited them into ROCKIT gigs. That makes sense? So, Cameron, am I saying that all right? I'd like
Yeah,
for you,
you,
like,
you nailed it. And the beauty of this thing is it's active. This is a living, this is very static right now. But just picture each one of these affiliates bringing in other affiliates, bringing in other customers as they're going down. So it's all based on the time and date stamp of when you save your seat and launch your business, either or. It's the same thing. You save your seat on the rocket ship, that time and date stamps, and everything and anything that is going on above you and below you is continuing to build that infinite power. We call it the rocket line down through infinity, and it just keeps on growing and growing. And that community sales volume is just going to be unbelievably explosive. And Mike, is there anything you would add here?
No, I mean, you guys are killing it. Exactly.
awesome. Hey, we might know what we're talking about. So again, for the sake of understanding and the deep dive, you have PSV, you have TSV, and you have CSV, right? And I want to point out again, this is just numbers being calculated on the back end by our systems that are calculating the sales of all the products, no matter who's selling them, right? Just really simple. This is just pure sales volume. Now, let's look at it from this point of view, like you guys have also seen here, right? So now you look at this a little bit, from a different elevation, and you look at all the lanes that we have. All of our products are feeding what we call the community dividend. So all of these sales that are being tabulated, like we just said, are being fed a percentage into the community dividends. We pay between 7 and 17% of the sales volume from these lanes, right? Now we have a goal, and we've done this before, right? So here's our goal. Our goal is the first year we're intending to sell $100 million collectively in the lanes of our products. And by the way, we already have a pretty significant head start. We have done this before. We've gone from 0 to 100 million in a year, in a different iteration with this, with far lesser products. Okay. So it's a goal. It's a goal for us collectively to achieve, right? So again, $100 million goal is our goal for all of us. And I'm going to use, for the sake of this example, what happens next, and using that $100 million at the end of our first year, how we divvy up that sales volume. I'm just going to use the smallest number of 7%. So we're taking 7% of 100 million that have been paid into the community dividends by each lane. And now we're dividing them up into 5, actually 6, but for the sake of this conversation, 5 separate community buckets. We actually call these, what do we call them, Cameron? We call them fuel tanks. That's it. So you can see here, the first 3 fuel tanks get 15% of all of the revenues that get put into the community dividends. And then fuel tank number 4 is 20%. Fuel tank number 5 is 25%. And then we put 10% in this bonus bucket that we're going to explain in a second. So these are fuel tanks. So let's just look at what would happen if we achieve our goal of 100 million in sales between now and next February. This is what it would look like, give or take, right? Based on only 7% going into the community dividends. You'd have $1 million going into bucket 1, 2, and 3. You'd have 1.4 million going into bucket 4, fuel tank number 4, and 1.7, give or take, into fuel tank number 5, right? So I want to really point out another thing that I was pointing out earlier, like the $1 to point ratio, and we pay out, on 100% of the sale, right? Not a BV. Well, similarly, you've heard of in other companies in the past, they also have had bonus pools, right? But traditionally, bonus pools are kind of complicated. They have all kinds of requirements and rank or leg qualifications, and more often than not, they're a tiny percentage, and then on top of that, they're a tiny percentage of the BV instead of the total sales, right? This is not. We're paying a minimum of 7% of total sales, dollar to point ratio, into our community dividends. This is really a blue ocean. Nothing like this has ever been done. And by the way, this is a graduation point. And Cameron, I know you and I have been talking about this, right? The version that you and Mike have had for the last few years had 10 pools, but it was very different because those 10 pools had an equal dollar amount, right? Even though it had a pathway to those pools, right? That's a little bit different now, especially for those people listening, right? This is a really positive difference, and here's why. In that previous iteration, you had one product with it, so you were counting simply customers, and it was annualized, right? So a new customer was a qualifier on an annual subscription. So why is this so much greater? Well, first of all, we've compressed it down to 5 fuel tanks instead of 10. And then you can see instead of 10% into 10, we have compressed it down where there's a lot more dollars going into each one of these fuel tanks. And it's heavily, if not entirely, driven by sales volume. And that's the big differentiator that it's so exciting for me. I was talking to Lorenzo yesterday, and we're having this conversation. In fact, I might want to talk, have him come on in a minute to kind of talk about where we're going next with these slides. But this is really exciting because all of a sudden you have a built-in network that are going to start buying all these products that are going to fuel the community dividends because of the volume. This is a game changer, positive game changer for everybody, by the way. Now, Camaron, can you tell us a little bit about Jet Setter and Rocket Boss? Jet Setter remain the same. I think Rocket Boss is a new name, obviously. But tell us a little bit about that 10% fuel tank that is also paid out every month.
Yeah, well, number one, it's going to be a very, very juicy pool on a monthly basis. And it's something that everybody, no matter who they are, can achieve within their first week. Even as signing up their first week, it's basically a new person becomes an affiliate. They save their seat, launch their business. They bring in, they become a customer, and that person now wants to go find other customers or affiliates. And when they do, bring in 3 from any one of our different lanes. They can be 3 happy travel customers, helping that person become a jet setter. It's them becoming, them being an affiliate and a customer of one of the lanes, and bringing in 3 customers, 1 coffee customer, 1 happy travel customer, 1 nucleogenics customer. They qualify to be a jet setter, and they get a 4 to 5 night vacation for qualifying to be a jet setter. Well, you that help that particular affiliate go jet setter, you become an air boss, which we call now the Rocket Boss, because you help that person launch their business and become a jet setter. You get 1 share in the monthly 10% bonus fuel tank. So it's powerful. It gets people off to a rapid start. It helps people make their list their first day. It gets them, the fear of loss. They want to get that vacation. And you are very highly motivated to help people win, help people get off to a rapid start. The people that become jet setters, they never quit because they know how to do it. It's the building block that helps build their business long term.
Hey, and if I could jump in and add something that was a perfect explanation, Cam. One of the things that's been so popular about this bonus pool as we've run it, over these years is that, with the other pools or with the other rocket tanks, these community dividends, obviously, it takes a minute, right? You gotta work towards it. It's not something you're not going to come in and hit rocket tank, number 4 in your first month, unless you happen to be a massive, massive influencer, right? And by the way, when the massive influencers do come and do that, everybody benefits, of course, across the board, right? Through all of these tanks. But it takes some time to kind of work into these tanks. That bonus tank, hitting Rocket Boss, that is something that you can do every month if you want to. In fact, not just once a month, you could do it twice a month or 3 times a month. You can do it as often as you want to, right? Simply by helping a new person hit jet setter, right? By referring 3 customers within 7 days. And so the power of that is that you have 10% of the pool distribution going into this 1 fuel tank that anybody, a brand new person, has the ability to come in and get a piece of. And believe me, it can happen. It does happen. It has happened. But now, as Cam mentioned, the size of these tanks is going to be much, much more interesting than ever before.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. So awesome information. So we're this coming week, we're going to continue this deep dive webinars because we have other things to deep dive on. And now I think we're ready for the next evolution of the deep dive on the Rocket Gig app, where we can do some more deep diving, clarify some things that have been, let's just say, the kinks worked out, right? And also the videos, the deep dive videos, those are going to be living in there. But more importantly, point out these things and how you earn these badges. And, one of the things you just said that I know people are interested in, we're not going to go in over right now, Cam, and that is, well, you said something about a free vacation when they do X, Y, and Z. Like, there's some interest in that one for sure.
It's a complimentary vacation where they have to pay the the taxes and fees, and the rest is covered. And they just kind of get themselves there.
We'll do that. We'll do that deep dive this coming week. So let's continue down the path and talking about, okay, so now you're probably wondering a little bit more, how do we tie this all together, and how do we get into these Rocket Gig fuel tanks? So again, I'm going to go back to that example that we started with, right? And this is a very, like, most of you already have the almost immediate or overnight potential, especially as soon as we launch Curbix here coming up shortly, right? You're going to be easily almost overnight qualifying into the first fuel tank, because many of you have a bunch of customers and affiliates already that are just going to start buying the products. So this example of just 10 customers and 2 affiliates and this PSV, as you can see here, here's the first community dividends fuel tank qualifier. You don't have to have a personal order. You only need 2,500 in total PSV. And then the CSV is, again, all the people that are already lined up beneath you as they're doing the same thing, right? So you can see that this is how your sales volume is what defines your ability to get into these override opportunities. Override meaning you're getting an additional dividend by earning shares in these fuel tanks. It's incredible, right? So next, let's talk about that TSV. The TSV, as it grows, is now a qualifier only related to fuel tanks 4 and 5. So as your affiliates, and the more affiliates you have and the more they're selling, they're going to put you in a position to be qualified into fuel tank numbers 4 and 5. So that's where the TSV numbers come into play. And then simultaneous, each one of them has that community sales volume. And I know, again, so many of you already have so much built up CSV. Now it's just a matter of starting to get your existing customers and affiliates into the various product lanes of Rocket Gig. Am I saying all that properly, Mike, Cam?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right. I like when things are working. Okay, so I want to do a continued deep dive on what this could look like, right? Again, these are arbitrary numbers, but I'm using the same numbers that we started with, which is if you had 10 or 12 people and you were earning $800 a month, again, residual, what would it look like if you kept on growing? What could that look like if you had 50 customers? Now, this is intentionally faded out simply because, we didn't do the math to figure out what 50, because this is all arbitrary. What's more interesting is, what happens when you continue to grow and you have 50 customers and a few affiliates that are all buying the products, right? Now, all of a sudden, you could be making $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month or more. If you have 100 customers, you can just keep doing the math about what this looks like. In fact, Cameron, can you see if you can? Oh, you're not a. Let me see. Is Lorenzo on? I want to have a quick. If he's okay with it.
Yeah.
I'd love to just. I want to kind of piggyback on a conversation I was having with him. Lorenzo, I'm gonna promote you to a panelist, if that's okay. And I just want to ask you a couple questions based on our conversation yesterday. So if you should have a panelist link, just kind of jump on. You don't need your camera, just turn turn your audio on if you're there. Yeah, I see you coming in. Cool. All right. Can you hear me, Lorenzo?
Yes, can you hear me?
Hey, thanks for accepting my quick invitation. I just thought it would be appropriate if it's okay with you. We had a really great long conversation yesterday, and I want to use you as a relevant existing example of you've done a lot of work over the last few years and have a whole lot of people attached to your business, right?
Yeah.
I believe I've been told you have well over 50 customers or directs to you. Is that accurate? And
85. 85.
he's got 85. Okay. And I know the number is over 1,000 in terms of his lineage, right? So this, because Lorenzo and I were having a really interesting conversation because this is the most exciting part of all of you. Doesn't matter which side of the businesses you came together on. You have existing customers. So now this is just a function of how many of those existing customers become purchasers or customers of the new lanes, the new products, right? So the point is, this is what Lorenzo and I were talking about. The work that has been invested into building out and into the previous version of the pools and buckets now becomes relevant from the standpoint of direct commission, right? So Lorenzo, I'd love to see if, after we had that conversation, did you start having conversations with other people, and do we have customers coming in and starting to buy some of these products?
Yeah, actually, this morning I saw a couple of orders come in of Neutrogenics, and it's interesting because I was taught a long time ago that people are your greatest asset, and always focused on building. And once the distribution network is set up, pretty much from the videos and the trainings that you showed this week, it's amazing how people are overweight in this country. It's amazing how the leaky gut is something that's more prevalent than I thought. And people are concerned about their health these days. So basically, these unicorn products that you can't get anywhere else, the fact that they actually work, it's going to put us in the position, especially those that were in the pools and travel gig, because we built a distribution network and we had to get so many customers to qualify. And so now that distribution network is set up, orders are coming in, and that's volume that'll be pushed up and eventually qualifies for the fuel tanks for those community dividends.
I think it's so exciting as we continue to have these conversations, all of us, for everybody, by the way, that exactly what you just said, you have a built-in distribution network already. If you didn't go out, and I'm not saying don't do this, but if you didn't recruit another customer or sell, go get another customer or another affiliate, you have a built-in network or distribution network, like you just said, that should immediately, as they start, buying, to your point, products they can't get anywhere else, you're going to start building your sales volume right now. But the most relevant thing, this is why I said the primary focus, is those direct commissions that you should start gaining and growing month over month on that sales volume. That's the big differentiator, right? You now have sales volume on products that people are going to buy every month.
Yeah. Hey, let me mention something here.
Yes, sir.
And, the travel gig group, like you mentioned, it's been a yearly. The beauty of this, if you look over at the left here, 10 customers, 2 affiliates, 818, 2 affiliates. Our top 100 people just in the travel gig group have 10 customers already. They have 10 customers already, and they have more, a lot of times more than 2 affiliates, maybe up to 10 affiliates. But here you look at the direct sale, the direct commission is $818.40, but that's this month. Next month, you're not starting over at 0. At Travel Gig, we were starting over at 0 every single month. So you have this just $818. If you look at your check from
Wow.
last month, those of you who has 10 customers and 2 affiliates, was your check based on the 10 customers, $818? No. So the exciting thing here is every month it's going to have the compound effect like a bank, where it's going to keep on, if you keep on growing it, it's going to keep on growing and sometimes doubling and tripling as you go through the months, and you build upon month after month after month and help people and get people growing. And that's just with 2 affiliates, right? And
Yeah.
imagine getting 5 affiliates, and we've got, our top, and again, I just had to mention that because I know in our group, we do have people that, have hit pool 7, pool 6, pool 5. Hey, sometimes in our mind, we get caught up in what the badge is or what the title is or what the pool number is. And we forget about the income that is attached to it. And if we're just straight up, we look at it, this is going to be where we're paying you what you're worth. You're about to start getting paid for what you're truly worth. 50 customers with only 5 affiliates, $8,184. And that next month you're not starting over at 0. That's carrying on the volume as you continue to keep your customers and your affiliates going and blowing. That's $8,184. So I mentioned that.
And Cam, this Lorenzo, listen, what's even better is what you just said, is that volume. Like I drink coffee. Starbucks, Maxwell House is not mailing me a check. Every month that I order my coffee is putting money into the distribution system and creating volume. So what I'm saying is everybody needs to go through here, and whatever product fits you, think about it. Think about you're investing in yourself. And then not only that, because of the products, we're in your wealth is really your health, you guys. And so now we're getting healthy as we're getting wealthy, and the volume just continues, and it becomes a snowball effect. So what's beautiful is because over the last couple of years in Travel Gig, we've been acquiring customers and affiliates, and now we've been building. And I always looked at it, Cam, as a distribution network. And it doesn't matter. Once the distribution network is set up, you can put widgets in it. It's going to move because somebody's going to need these products. So I'm excited that Robert is introducing us to this product. And by the way, you guys, if you have not been on the weekly trainings, go back and look, and you'll see why we're so excited. Because Laura, my God, that just, if I had to cure the cancer, I would definitely share it. And when she was talking about her ailments and how these products worked for her, I have a moral obligation to share these. I have a moral obligation to share these products because there's people in our lives and our loved ones that need these products, you guys. So as a result of it, now we can get paid what we're worth, because we are not just changing people's lives, but guess what, you guys? We're saving people's lives.
Yeah. I was talking to Flip, and I'm gonna shut up, Robert, I promise. But I was talking to Flip yesterday morning, and I was talking to Flip, who's, pool 6. And in this group, he was like, well, what does pool 6 mean? Well, pool 6 means you've got 100 customers in lineage, and he's got 50 affiliates. So what's your greatest asset? Pool number 6, the name number, pool number 6? No, it's the 100 plus customers that you have. That's your asset. It's the 50 plus affiliates that's your asset, that's representative pool number 6. So all of the work that you guys have done to get where you are right now, you have built your greatest asset, and that's your people. That's your affiliates, that's your customers. And what that's going to do, it's going to translate into more money. All right.
Let's continue, because I'm going to come back to that point in a second. But for those of you, and Lorenzo brought up a big point, if you go back to Monday night's launch webinar and you watch that presentation again, and then you come back here and watch the replay and understand that this is the transformation of the direct selling distribution model in the gig economy. This is what you're witnessing now from the standpoint of this rewards program. But you have to really understand what's going on and why it's happening. Go back and watch Monday night. Now, then on Wednesday night, we did the deep dive on Curbix. So I wanted to just shift into, forget all the other products for the sake of this conversation. I wanted to do similar sort of modeling around Curbix, which is going to imminently launching here, and go watch that Curbix deep dive and understand what's going on in the world in terms of the overweight epidemic and the poison that people are putting in their bodies, frankly, with semaglutides, okay? And then really understand the depth of this opportunity if we were only talking about this product, okay? If we were only talking about this product, the numbers are also staggering, right? You get 10 or 12 customers and affiliates, you got $600 residual, to piggyback off everything we were just saying. 25, 50 customers, 100 customers. This becomes a really sweet spot for so many of you, all of you on both sides that have an existing customer database. They're going to start buying Curbix through this My Curbix lane attached to ROCKIT Gig. So now what happens is all these new customers are going to fuel the most relevant, again, primary thing is direct commissions. So like you're talking about, Lorenzo and Camaron, right? Those people that have fit, and by the way, this is everybody. Anybody that's got a significant number of customers on the nucleogenic side that have been also doing the same thing for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, right? You have this built-in distribution network, and you're getting ready to launch a unicorn. And I wanted to use this example because of this significance of the commissionable payout. 30% on this product is $53.70. Dollar to point ratio, right? Straight 30%. So someone like a Lorenzo or anybody that has, again, 50, 60, 70, 100 existing people, whether the customers or affiliates, doesn't matter, just users, look at the numbers just from this one product. So those of you that have only been making a couple $100 a month can literally almost overnight jump to $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month with this one lane, right? So I just kind of wanted to, paint this picture. It's real. You got a unicorn that doesn't, is not available anywhere else, and only ROCKIT Gig affiliates can sell the product, right? This is a game changer. And by the way, this is why we believe we're going to do 100 million in the first year, which again, 7% of this lane is going to fuel those community dividends. Okay, so let's tie it all together, going back to the basics of the numbers we already use, right? So Camaron, you were just bringing up the point of another person you just mentioned outside of Lorenzo, right? Who's got an existing number of customers. Just using that person as an example. How many customers does that person have? And when I say customers, I mean direct customers and direct affiliates.
Yeah, Flip has 50 customers. Okay. He's got over 100 people on his team, and 1,683 total in the overall group when he.
Okay. Perfect. So right now, if a large percentage, somewhere in between 10 of those customers and 50 of those customers, starts to add up numbers. Remember, with 10 customers and 2 affiliates, not only would he be making over $800 a month, but he'd already out of the gate be qualified. Again, if just 10 or 12 people did similar to this math, he's going to make $800 plus a share in whatever the payout is in the community dividend fuel tank 1. and then as it grows, let's say he, starts to get the vast majority of those customers buying products. Well, look at the numbers. All of a sudden, he's going to start making direct commission, thousands of dollars a month. But now this also graduates him all the way into all three buckets here, all the way into all three fuel tanks. Does that make sense, right? So no other requirements, but if his existing is what Lorenzo's talking about, this is what you're talking about, your existing distribution network. If all they start doing is buying these products and fueling the sales volume of buying these products, all of a sudden you're into the first three community dividends fuel tanks. And like we've already pointed out, those should arguably be far more valuable than any other, I'm talking about any other bonus pool and any other compensation model, right? And then, the sky's the limit from there. Like, I mean, literally this is staggering in terms of that potential. So again,
enormous.
To summarize, and by the way, this is on the 2-page ROCKIT Gig Rewards program. All of this is on the 2-page. I mean, the details of how this works. This is just the deep dive that we wanted to provide for you to explain, how this works. So one last thing, and then we'll take some questions. Same thing I just asked, I think Wednesday night on the Curbix call, right? Just one more question. How many personal customers are you going to have in a year? If you didn't do it on Wednesday, I want you to do it now. Like, set this goal. How many personal customers are you going to have? And the reason that should be the focus, is whatever that number is that you achieve becomes the primary value. In other words, if you can achieve 100 customers and all of a sudden you're making $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month residual every month, that's the primary goal because it fuels everything else, right? Then the community dividends becomes your reward for the work you put in to get those 100 customers, right? So that's why what we're asking for is set that goal, dedicate the next 12 months. And by the way, all of you already have a built-in distribution network, right? So this isn't a startup where you got to go right now and go get a bunch of new people. We want you to do that. You should do that. And by the way, this obviously will be accentuated as we continue to launch the rest of the lanes. And when we got more lanes lined up, it's pretty exciting. So that's the deep dive, Cameron, Mike.
Awesome. So we're going to open up. How do we open up for Q&A? Do we?
Well, we really can't quote unquote open it up. If anybody
okay.
has any questions, they can put it in the chat.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. There's a Q&A. Let me read the questions that have come in.
Yeah, go to that.
So do nucleogenics affiliates have affiliates and customers now have to pay $30 a month to part? No. So the $29.99 is the monthly fee for Happy Travel.
Right.
So no, that doesn't have anything to do with participation. Everybody already in nucleogenics is already part of ROCKIT Gig. Okay. Will the customer factory be available for ROCKIT Gig as well? Answer is yes. I don't know if Mike can speak to any kind of timeline that there's.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, I know that customer service has reported that to us that a lot of people have been asking about customer factory. By the way, and I'm sure those who have asked about this, what we did with the January customer factory is we went ahead and just set it up so that it ran through the entire balance, basically through the 13th. And so because we knew that obviously this would be coming. And so what's the deal with the customer factory? Well, obviously we want to be able to expand it. Right, we want to be able to expand it so it's not just Happy Travel. We also have ROCKIT Gigs, so you can actually get affiliates as well. But we want to have the ability to get customers in all of the other lanes as well. So we're working to that's a big project, of course, because you're talking about sophisticated advertising campaigns. We've got to get everything queued up with clickbait media to be able to run viral ads and be able to drive that kind of volume. And of course, we've got to open up these other lanes as well. So all of that will be coming in the near future. And for everybody who has no idea what I'm talking about, the customer factory, let me just kind of summarize it and say that it's one of the really, I guess, one of the more popular components that has always been there with Travel Gig, and certainly will be there with Rocket Gig as well. And it's just a recognition that, again, zooming out and looking at the direct sales industry, and particularly, the network marketing and MLM industry, we call it the dirty little secret, right? And the dirty little secret is that, people can come in, they can work really hard, they can get some customers, they can recruit some people, they're coachable, they're teachable, but you know what? Eventually, everybody runs out of people to talk to. Right. That's just a fact. And that's kind of a hidden thing in the MLM world. They just say, oh, well, by then you're going to have three who get three, 10 levels deep. You have 1 million people by then. What are you worried about? You just work with your team. And of course, it doesn't always work out that way. And so the customer factory is a way that you can literally just purchase credits in essentially what is a monthly advertising co-op. And we take 100% of those funds, we push them out into a company called Clickbait Media that does these digital advertising campaigns. And it drives customers back into the system who are then distributed back in equal proportion to the affiliates who purchased credits in that month's customer factory campaign. And so it's a popular thing. It basically gives you, it's optional. You don't have to do it, but it's a way for people who want to kind of, in a sense, run your own little mini business, right? You want to be able to say that, hey, this month, I'm going to put buy a couple credits in the customer factory because I want to, I've got a little bit more time to focus this month, and I want to, make some calls and follow up with these people and encourage them to upgrade and tell them about this product, tell them about that product. And see, that's the great thing about what's going to be in the new customer factory is, unlike the Travel Gig affiliates who, you're just calling about happy travel, which is fine. There'll be other ways, as Cam and Robert have both been kind of alluding to here. There's going to be other ways to kind of cross-pollinate with those customers. So yes, that's all going to be coming. Last thing I'll say about the customer factory is there's a natural marriage for all of you on the nucleogenics side. There's a natural marriage to what Robert has been talking to you about for so long with the B2B program, right? And the calling program and things like that, that there's a lot of overlap there. And so we are, of course, looking at all of that and kind of collaborating and trying to take the next steps with that. I guess I was going to say that was the last thing. It's really not, because there's one other piece, which is the artificial intelligence, the AI calling program, which we have also long had now in Travel Gig, where you can literally have an AI agent do outbound sales calls to not just your customer factory enrollments, but literally to like any type of enrollment to sell them on upgrading on that particular thing, maybe buying more product, or in this case now potentially selling them on the other lanes and telling them about other products. And it's just really cool. The potential is so wide, so vast. These are not ideas. I mean, these are things that we have done, and there's thousands of you, of course, who will be listening to this video who know that and have subscribed to those things. We turned off the AI calling about a month ago. I mentioned then that was because we had these updates coming. Now you can kind of see why. Okay, yeah, we needed to kind of press pause on that to recalibrate it. So we'll be doing that with the customer factory, with AI calling, looking at B2B and B2B program, B2B calling, and seeing kind of how to package those things best together to just give you everything and more, right? That's what we're looking to do.
Amen.
Awesome.
Chrissy, do we have a visual example of red coffee? I think, like, if you have 10 customers, what's the commission on that?
We'll have more.
Yeah.
We'll continue more so right now, red coffee is only purchased through nucleogenics, right? So existing nucleogenics people, your customers can continue through nucleogenics.com. Anybody that's new, who has never ordered red before, would order it through the nucleogenics.co, which is, again, already attached to Rocket Gig. So that's where red coffee is currently purchased for anybody who wants red right now. Very soon, as soon as we get the new branded bags for the same coffee, red's not going to change. We're just changing the brand. As soon as we have the brand identity change, then we will launch Rocket Coffee Co., which will be its own lane, which you've already seen sort of advertised, right? So, but you can buy red coffee now. Your customers can buy red coffee now. It's not a separated lane quite yet. Also, many people asking when Curbix is coming. I'm expecting another update on Tuesday. Monday happens to be a holiday. I'm told it will be in our warehouse by the end of this coming week. If it is, we'll pre-launch it because that means it will ship right afterwards. Once it gets to the warehouse, it has to be put in inventory, and there's a little bit of a process, but it's imminent. Curbix is launching imminently So for sure by the first, but I think it'll be before that. Again, I'm just looking at other questions. The B2B program's a great question. I thought about it when we were making these slides. The B2B is another ancillary part of the volume in terms of sales. So in other words, business customers who are buying at wholesale, that's simply going to be a slightly different commission to you as an affiliate. So when you sign up a business that's buying in bulk at wholesale, the commission will be slightly less, but it's bulk order, so it's going to be much larger order.
And it's wholesale, not
But
retail.
all of the volume of those sales also fuel the community dividends. Yes. Right now in Canada, we are currently with the existing nucleogenics products, what's equivalent to NFR. Curbix will be in Canada, and then now that we are no longer with these products going to be technically a network marketing company or MLM like Nucleogenics was, now it's much easier to open these other countries because now we're just qualifying the products, right, as an affiliate sales as opposed to a quote unquote business opportunity that MLMs have a lot more hiccups trying to get in these countries. Again, a bunch of people asking about the $30 qualifier for commission. There's no $30 qualifier. The $30 is for happy travel, right? And I saw another question about, you guys are bombarding us here with questions. Thank you. Something about the volume. I'll come back to it. I'll find it. All right. Next questions.
Are the tanks cumulative? You know,
Yeah.
you get into tank 1 and then you hit tank 2. You on the 10th, and we're going to pay on the 10th, not the 15th for the travel gig people. Will be paid out on the 10th of every month from the prior sales from the last month. So it's
cumulative. So if you have earned a share in the first 3 fuel tanks, you get a share in each one. So you add those all 3 together. So it's cumulative. It's not when you get to 2, you lose 1. On the Happy Travel. So if you had purchased Happy Travel at the $99 annual, whenever that subscription, that 1 year ends, then you'll have the option to continue at $29.99 a month. Right? Is that correct, Mike? That's a question someone's asking. I just want to make sure.
Sorry. Yeah. Well, Happy Travel. Yeah. I mean, that of course, it's totally separate. That what you said is correct. I mean, people who we're talking about now, Happy Travel customers who last year that ended at the end of last year, right? The $99 fee.
Right. So I'm saying existing people that paid $99, they started in September.
Whenever
September.
And there's and so because that's a kind of a Happy Travel conversation, but what happens for affiliates who are concerned about that is that ahead of that, the customer does receive, of course, they've all received communications from Happy Travel already, letting them know about that change, announcing happy points, announcing all the the good stuff that comes with it. But ahead of their renewal date, they'll receive communications from the company again, reminding them that, hey, this is now a monthly fee, and if they need to make any adjustments, where to go, how to do that, of course. And one important thing, there were some questions, I guess, at one point about we used to have an annual renewal vacation for happy travelers. And so, again, I mentioned this on a prior call, but just so you guys can know again, that is being honored for all of the Happy Travel customers as they renew. So as they renew into the $29.99 per month, they will receive that vacation and the 30 happy points that go along with that $29.99 payment. So they get both. And then, of course, after that, that's all of that. So
cool.
Yeah, but that's separate from ROCKIT Gig. So none of that has anything to do with ROCKIT Gig. And guys, that's the beauty of this, is that these lanes are independent companies that have their own operations, their own customers, their own thing, right? ROCKIT Gig is an affiliate opportunity that allows all of you to benefit in all of that.
Yep.
Okay, another question is, what are the minimums we need to purchase to stay qualified? Guess what? There are none. No personal order requirement to sell products, to earn commissions, or to qualify into the community dividends other than the qualifiers that you already saw. Now, of course, the only thing is that you need to have your business launched and your seat saved, which you simply do by having one customer with one product or pay the $10.
And I'd encourage to, sometimes it takes somebody a week, 2 weeks to make their first sale, just the way it is. And you don't want to necessarily wait a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to make that first sale, because those 3 weeks, lots of people are coming in every single day, and you don't want to, you want to, have the urgency to maybe go ahead and get that thing, help somebody make that decision to get their seat saved and launch their business, and not wait 3 weeks for that one sale, the $10 to come out of that one sale commission. So that's just something to keep in the back of your mind.
Okay, good. Okay, so no, if you buy coffee yourself, you do not earn a commission on your own purchase. So no, whoever enrolled you, i.e. your sponsor or whoever invited you, they earn a commission when you buy any product. But no, you don't get commissions on your own personal sales.
But it does count towards your personal sales volume. Your own orders do count towards your personal sales volume. So it's your own orders, as well as, of course, all of the orders from your customers. So we do count that. That's the same for the travel gig people. That's the same concept, right? That your own purchase counted toward your customer total.
Okay, still weeding through the questions. What is the monthly fee for nucleogenics? There's no monthly fee. It's whatever your orders are. So whatever you're subscribing to, whatever you're purchasing, that's what you're paying. So if you're the average order nucleogenics is $139. So if that's what you're doing, that's what your subscription is. Are all products have 30 or 33%? No, most of the product lanes are 30% commission. Happy Travels 33%. As we add other lanes, we will determine what those commissions are. We don't ever see being less than 30% on direct commissions. Can I purchase products through my nucleogenics link? So if I don't know this person's name, but if you're have never purchased a nucleogenics product, then you would simply go to nucleogenics.co, use your ROCKIT gig email, whatever you are using for your email. Your email is already attached to you, so you would just go purchase that way. Okay. Those look like all the questions for now. For those of you that are nucleogenics, we have a 1 o'clock call to answer some of those nucleogenics related questions, 1 o'clock Eastern, so in an hour. And I think Mike, Cam, that's all we have.